I never thought I'd see the day where we were living in a post-Rafael Devers era, but here we are. Rafael Devers has officially been traded to the San Francisco Giants, and the Red Sox played a baseball game yesterday. We're going to recap everything that was said in the Craig Breslow and Sam Kennedy presser. We also have some quotes from Alex Cora, and then we are going to recap the Red Sox 2-0 win over the Seattle Mariners. But before we get into that, I want the pulse of the nation. Yesterday was a big therapy session, me just getting all my thoughts out. I've had time to compose myself. I want to hear from you. Do you agree with the Rafael Devers trade? It's as simple as that. Type Y for yes in the comments if you do. Type N for no in the comments if you do not. I still do not agree with the trade. I know most people in the comments yesterday completely agreed with the trade. I still do not agree with the trade, but you let me know. Y for yes, N for no. Sound off. I want to hear all of your thoughts down below in the comments. So Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow spoke to the media before the game. They waited more than 24 hours after the trade even went down. I thought that was not a great look on their part, but they did speak. They had a lot of quotes. I'm not going to have every single quote in here, but I have the gist of what the press conference was because it went on for like almost 40 minutes. And they did kind of say a lot of the same things over and over and over again. So we're going to hop around. This isn't linear. I just have like the key points here. We're going to hop around and I'm going to give my thoughts. The first biggest thing that I took away from this was they kept pointing at this being a baseball trade. They did not want anyone to think that this was a trade specifically because of the drama behind the scenes and Craig Breslow's ego and Rafael Devers' ego and, heads smashing and things like that. This was a baseball trade. And this is what Sam Kennedy had to say about it. They said it was a baseball trade because we did what we felt was in the best interest of the Red Sox on and off the field to win championships and to continue to ferociously and relentlessly pursue a culture that we want everyone in the clubhouse to embody. And we're doing everything in their power night in, night out to help the team. So yeah, it was a baseball trade without question. I find that kind of BS because if you're just talking about culture and things on and off the field, that's not a baseball trade. That is a culture trade, which goes into the baseball, yes, but this was not just strategically, we're trading this player to get assets back that are of the same value, if not better. Because you, if you're looking straight up value-wise, you trade away your best hitter for 3 minor league players and an injured reliever. Now, will those players work out? We'll see. I'm very intrigued by Kyle Harrison. I think he's going to be great. I think James Tibbs is going to be a very valuable trade asset at the deadline. And look, they think that Jordan Hicks is going to be a high leverage reliever. And if that's the case, then great. But we don't know that. We know that Rafael Devers is a proven commodity. You know what you're going to get with Rafael Devers. These players have not proven that they are worth being the package back for Rafael Devers. But like I said, I'm very excited for Kyle Harrison. I think that he has the potential to be a frontline-ish starter. He could be a 2 or a 3. Of course, Crochet is going to be your ace, but if everything works out, Kyle Harrison's bumped up and down between the majors and the minors for his first 3 seasons. He has not had like a full-on, full season at the major league level. If Bailey can get in there and kind of mold him and get him into a system and work on his arsenal, which is what they're going to be doing in AAA, I think he's got the potential to be, a 2, maybe like a 3, maybe a 2, a frontline starter in this rotation. And that is interesting. I am interested by that. This trade was not completely in vain. You didn't get anything back. There are interesting prospects here, and we'll see how they hash out. I do want to talk about this Sam Kennedy quote. This kind of embodies the entirety of the press conference. There was a lot of what happened, what specifically happened, was it this, was it that? And they just kind of kept saying the same thing. And this quote from Sam Kennedy kind of gives the gist of what that is. He said, in terms of what was missing, it was just that alignment in terms of what we felt we needed from him and what would be in the absolute best interest of the ball club. That's a non-starter for us. We have to have that. We couldn't get there. And as Brez said, maybe we need to look back at things we could have handled better. But it's definitely a two-way street. We didn't get that alignment we needed in the best interest of the Boston Red Sox. So we made the decision that we made. So obviously, and they kind of alluded to it, the John Henry meeting that they had in Kansas City did not go well. And Rafael Devers was going to stand firm no matter what. He was not going to budge. And so the Red Sox at that point said, you know what? If he doesn't want to be here, if he doesn't want to do what we are asking him to do as a paid employee of the Boston Red Sox, then we're going to ship him off. Because going into this next quote, they claimed, and again, they have to defend themselves. They are not going to do Rafi any favors in this. We don't know the full story. But they claim that Rafi potentially was a bad influence on the young players in the clubhouse. Here's what Craig Breslow had to say regarding that. He said, we have a number of young players who are in the big leagues, and we're really excited about them. And we're very, very deliberate and intentional about the environment that we want to create. And ultimately, we believe that we're positioning the organization to win a bunch of games both in 2025 and beyond. That environment that they want to create is not a selfish environment. It is a selfless environment. And they felt that Rafael Devers was being selfish and not doing what was to the best interest of the Boston Red Sox. And they did not want to have Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and Christian Campbell be in an environment where the face of the franchise, the best hitter on the team, the star of the team, the player that you've paid the most in franchise history, walking all over the GM, talking bad about the GM to the media, and then not doing the wishes of the owner. They didn't want that. And I think that is the real reason why they made the move that they did. Now, I still have issues with how it went down. All reports are that they didn't shop him. Or if they did, it was very minimal. That's not great. The over-reliance on not eating any of the money to get back potentially a better return. I don't like how they went about that either. The return is not as awful as we probably thought it was off the top. Again, there's interesting pieces here that I think could be molded into big league assets. And then in the case of James Tibbs, I think is a pretty interesting trade chip at the trade deadline. But that doesn't constitute your best hitter on the team by far. It just doesn't make any sense. And they're so focused on creating this environment for the kids. And I get it. I do understand that, but there were ways this could have been different. And I will give, I'm going to throw up even saying this, I will give Kennedy and Breslow in particular, actually a little bit of credit. They both did own up to the fact that the way they handled the offseason could have been better. And Breslow even said, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but he's like, I think about how those conversations went every day and think about what could I have done differently. So at least they did kind of take some of the blame. I will give them a little bit of that credit, but at the end of the day, it is organizational malpractice that it got to this point, and it should not have gotten to that point. We're going to talk about the rest of the quotes here in a second. We have a bunch more to talk about, but before we do, make sure you subscribe. This is why you subscribe. Right after the news broke, we had a short out instantly, and then we had a video out less than an hour after the news broke. And then today, we are breaking down everything you need to know about this press conference. We gained over 100 subs the other day after this news broke, and we are fastly growing, and we're getting close to our next goal of 3,000 subscribers. Join the family. We are recapping every game, all 162, and every time news happens, which it seems like, according to some quotes we're going to talk about in a minute, they're still going to be active on the trade market. When news happens, we have videos. So don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button. Join the family. I would really appreciate it. All right, let's talk about Alex Cora. We did get some Cora comments, and this was a big question that everyone was having. Did Cora know? How much did Cora know? What was Cora's reaction? Is this front office and Cora, do they not have a sense of cohesion? According to both of them, it seems like they were in the loop, and Cora was in the loop for the entire process, basically. Here's what Craig Breslow had to say. He said, ultimately, Alex is someone who puts the Red Sox organization first. So he is behind us and supporting it. I say this with full confidence. I couldn't imagine a better manager to handle the player reaction. Those are really glowing comments from Craig Breslow. And that's a good thing, because I think a lot of us were worried that there was going to be some headbutting between Cora and Breslow, especially after they shopped one of his, favorite players on the team. Like that can't have gone over well. But here's what Alex Cora had to say on those conversations specifically. He said, we always have conversations and had an idea of what was going on, obviously. But at the same time, it's not a given. It's not 100% that it's going to happen. But the front office, ownership in the group, they do an amazing job keeping the lines of communication and telling me what's going on. I don't know if I believe this 100%. I do think they were playing a lot of damage control yesterday, but I do think that the Breslow comments in particular were very glowing of Cora, and he didn't have to say those comments. And the fact that he did, I do think that there is at least a little bit of mutual respect there. So that's what I'm going to assume for now until we get anything else. But Alex Cora was blunt about the loss of Devers and said that it was going to be tough. He said obviously the guy means so much to that group. He means so much to the organization, to the city of Boston. I'm not going to hide it, but at the same time we got to show up. We're playing good baseball, and Seattle are one of the teams that are ahead of us before the game. So try to win, and this is the path that we are on now. Find ways to win. You've lost the best bat in your lineup. Find ways to win. It doesn't matter how you do it. You need to find ways to win. We did get a little bit of insight into Jordan Hicks. Like I kind of already alluded to earlier, they view him as a dominant late inning reliever. They don't seem to have any desires to start him. So they saw him as a reliever option. I didn't really understand the pickup at the time, but his FIP is below 4. Everyone's looking at his ERA, and his ERA is not good, but his FIP and his expected ERA are a lot better. So if you can get Bailey in there and try to fine tune what was going wrong in San Francisco, if he gives you some high leverage innings, that's very valuable to this bullpen that has been very depleted over the last month. So we'll see what happens. Apparently he's supposed to throw this week. He is on the IL. He is injured, so we traded for an injured relief pitcher. But he's making progress apparently, and so we'll see what happens. At this point, I don't really know. We're going to end it on this. 2 comments from Craig Breslow that are interesting. They talk about the future of the team and the rest of this year. Here's what Cora had to say in particular to 2025. He said, "This trade is in no way signifying us waving the white flag on 2025. Making this move made more sense for us than not making it. We are as committed as we were 6 months ago to putting a winning team on the field, to compete for the division and make a deep postseason run." I do actually believe them on this. I do believe that they see the potential of this team and they see the potential of this roster. This roster still is good. I wouldn't say it's as good as we originally thought it was, but you have reinforcements coming, with Bregman, eventually Slayton. I think Tanner Houck is supposed to have a rehab start coming up soon. Wilyer Abreu is supposed to be back on Friday. You're getting pieces back. And if you go to the deadline and you've got some pieces, they're probably going to trade one of the outfielders. I would trade Wilyer, but at this point, who knows? I think James Tibbs, I'm going to continue to say this, I think he is a very big trade chip that they're going to try to flip because you don't need another left-handed outfielder. I think they have assets, and they are garnering assets to make 1, maybe 2 relatively significant trades. I do think, and I don't think that they're waving the white flag, specifically after taking over the final wild card spot last night. They are deeply entrenched in this race, and I think the Yankees lost last night as well. So as the standings currently stand, you're 5.5 back of New York and the division. You are in this. The Red Sox have won 6 straight. They are deeply in this. They are nowhere near dead. And so I do appreciate at least them saying, look, just because we made this trade, we're not giving up on the year. Because this year's not over. And I think that they've got the potential to, push to make the playoffs at the end of the year. And then we got this last comment. This one's bold. And they're going to have to back it up, but it's bold. He said, "I do think there's a real chance that at the end of the season, we're looking back and we've won more games than we otherwise would have." That's a bold one. That was a bold thing for Craig Breslow to say. They got to back it up. We'll see, because damn well the day, I hope it doesn't happen, but if the Red Sox do not make the postseason and that graphic eliminated from playoff contention, Boston Red Sox, the minute that graphic comes up, everyone is going to be retweeting this quote. That's not a good look. So you better back it up, Craig. When you get to the trade deadline, you better be making moves, because Red Sox fans will never forget. They will never forget. So that's it. That's it for the quotes. You let me know. Are the Red Sox a playoff team? Y for yes, N for no. As it stands right now, they are. But a lot can change. We're not even at the halfway point of the season yet. So a lot can change. So you let me know. Are the Red Sox a playoff team? Y for yes, N for no. I just realized I had 2 Y for yeses, N for no's in this video, but I'm so tired. It's almost midnight here. That late start absolutely cooked me. It was just crazy. Let's talk about the game real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. We've already talked 15 minutes about the Breslow comments. Red Sox win 2-0. I mean, there really only is 2 things to talk about. Lucas Giolito throws a gem. He goes 6 innings, only gives up 3 hits and 1 walk. He strikes out 10, 6 shutout innings. He made the Seattle Mariners offense look dumb. And the thing that made it even crazier is you go into the bottom of the third, and the first 3 batters that Giolito faces are all singles. You load up the bases with no outs, and at that point, you're up 2-0. And then Lucas Giolito has the ice to strike out the 1, 2, and 3 hitters, including Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh, who are 2 of the best players in baseball. He has the ice in his veins to strike out 3 straight batters to get out of a bases-loaded, no-outs jam. Was this a turning point for Lucas Giolito? I think that's something we should definitely think about. But it was definitely something really, really awesome to see. You struck out the Mariners 15 times tonight. They did absolutely nothing. And then on the Red Sox side, the offense really didn't do much either. You strike out 12 times if you're the Red Sox. You only got 4 hits. You only walked 3 times. But it's Roman Anthony, baby. Roman Anthony hits his first career Major League home run. The ball was on the outside of the zone, and he pulled it in Seattle, which is a tough ballpark to hit home runs. And he showed why he is the number 1 prospect in baseball. Top of the first inning, set the tone early, first Major League home run, and the Red Sox walk out with the win. And as things stand going into today, the Red Sox sit 5.5 games back in the AL East of the New York Yankees, and they hold the final spot in the American League wildcard. If the season ended today, the Boston Red Sox would be in the playoffs. They would. The craziest thing, too, is 4 American League East teams are playoff teams right now. Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Boston hold all 3 wildcard spots, and then, of course, the Yankees are the division leader. Red Sox have won 6 straight. They have won 8 of their last 10. They are absolutely cruising right now. But let's finish out the video like this. Show some love to the kid, Roman Anthony. Go down below in the comments and spam RA for me. Show the kid some love. First Major League home run. Huge accomplishment for him, and I cannot wait to see many more home runs for Roman Anthony in a Red Sox uniform. That's it, guys. That's where I'm going to end it. It is coming up on midnight. I got to go to bed because I got another full day of work today at the time that you're watching this. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us grow the channel. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. And until next time, go Sox.